Chapter 1. A Day in the Country. Between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning, a dark leaden-colored mass is creeping over the sky towards the sun. In a minute there will be a spurt of May rain and a real storm will begin. Fiokla, a little beggar girl of 6 years old, is running through the village, looking for Terenti the cobbler. The black-haired, barefoot child is pale. Her eyes are wide open, her lips are trembling. "Uncle, where is Terenti?" she asks everyone she meets. No one answers. They are all preoccupied with the approaching storm and take refuge in their huts. At last, she meets Silanti Silich. "Uncle, where is Terenti?" "At the kitchen gardens," answers Silanti. The beggar girl runs behind the huts to the kitchen gardens and finds Terenti. The tall old man is standing near the vegetable plots, looking with drowsy, drunken eyes at the dark storm cloud. "Uncle Terenti," the black-haired beggar girl addresses him. "Uncle, darling." Terenti bends down to Fiokla. "Ah, servant of God, Fiokla," he says, lisping tenderly, "where have you come from?" "Uncle Terenti," says Fiokla with a sob. "Brother Danilka has had an accident. Come along." "What sort of accident?" "Of, what thunder! Holy, holy, holy! What sort of accident?" "In the Count's copse Danilka stuck his hand into a hole in a tree, and he can't get it out." "Come along, uncle, do be kind and pull his hand out." "How has he put his hand in?" "What for?" "He wanted to get a cuckoo's egg out of the hole for me." "The day has hardly begun and already you are in trouble," Terenti said. "Well, what am I to do with you now?" "I must come." "You naughty children. Come, little orphan." Terenti comes out of the kitchen garden and begins striding down the village street. Fiokla can hardly keep up with him. They come out of the village and turn towards the Count's copse. It is about a mile and a half away. It grows dark. "Holy, holy, holy," whispers Fiokla. The first raindrops begin to fall. A big raindrop falls on Fiokla's cheek and glides like a tear down her chin. "The rain has begun," mutters Terenti. "That's fine, Fiokla, little girl. The grass and the trees are fed by the rain, as we are by bread. The only sound is the patter of rain dropping." "We shall get soaked, Fiokla," mutters Terenti. "There won't be a dry spot left on us." "Ho ho, my girl. It's run down my neck. But don't be frightened, silly. The grass will be dry again, the earth will be dry again, and we shall be dry again. There is the same sun for us all." A flash of lightning, some 14 feet long, gleams above their heads. "Holy, holy, holy," says Terenti, crossing himself. "Don't be afraid, little orphan." Terenti's and Fiokla's feet are covered with lumps of heavy, wet clay. But, at last, they go into the Count's copse. "Where is Danilka?" he asks. "Lead me to him." Fiokla leads him into a thicket, and after going a quarter of a mile, points to Danilka. "A terrible lot of thunder, Terenti. I have never heard so much thunder in all my life." "And where is your hand?" "In the hole." "Pull it out, please, Terenti." The wood had broken at the edge of the hole and jammed Danilka's hand. Terenti snaps off the broken piece, and the boy's hand, red and crushed, is released. "It's terrible how it's thundering," the boy says again. "What makes it thunder, Terenti?" "One cloud runs against the other," answers the cobbler. "The ducks flew by here the other day, Terenti," says Danilka. "They must be nesting in the Gnilya Zamyshtita marshes. Fiokla, would you like me to show you a nightingale's nest?" "Don't touch it, you might disturb them," says Terenti. "The nightingale is a singing bird. It's a sin to disturb him." "What about the sparrow?" "The sparrow doesn't matter, he's a bad, spiteful bird." A bright patch of blue appears in the sky. "Look," says Terenti. An ant-heap burst open by the rain. They have been flooded. The downpour has damaged it. "You needn't be in such a taking, you won't die of it," says Terenti. As soon as the sun warms you, you'll come to your senses again. It's a lesson for you. You won't settle on low ground another time. And here are some bees, cries Danilka. The drenched and chilled bees are huddled together on the branch. That's a swarm of bees, Terenti informs them. They were flying looking for a home, and when the rain came down upon them, they settled. If a swarm is flying, you need only sprinkle water on them to make them settle. Little Fiokla suddenly frowns and rubs her neck vigorously. Her brother looks at her neck and sees a big swelling on it. Hey hey, laughs the cobbler. Do you know where you got that from, Fiokla, little girl? There are Spanish flies on some trees in the wood. The rain has trickled off them, and a drop has fallen on your neck. That's what has made the swelling. The sun appears from behind the clouds and floods the wood, the fields and the three friends with its warm light. That herb is given when your nose bleeds, says Terenti, pointing to a woolly-looking flower. It does good. A good strain races by before the eyes of Terenti, Danilka and Fiokla. The engine, panting and puffing out black smoke, drags more than 20 wands after it. The children are interested to know how an engine can move and drag such weights. Terenti explains to them. It's all the steam's doing, children. The steam does the work. They cross the railway line and walk towards the river. Danilka asks questions, Terenti answers them. Terenti answers all his questions, and there is no secret in nature which baffles him. Danilka looks at Terenti and greedily drinks in every word. The two of them, the cobbler and the orphan, walk about the fields, talk unceasingly, and are not weary. They walk, and in their talk of the beauty of the earth do not notice the frail little beggar girl tripping after them. She is breathless and moves with a lagging step. Towards midday, all three sit down on the river bank. Danilka takes out of his bag a piece of bread, soaked and reduced to a mash, and they begin to eat. Terenti says a prayer when he has eaten the bread, then stretches himself on the sandy bank and falls asleep. Only towards the evening wanderers return to the village. The children go for the night to a deserted barn while Terenti goes to the tavern. The boy does not sleep. He gazes into the darkness. The number of his impressions, together with exhaustion and hunger, are too much for him. He is as hot as though he were on fire, and tosses from side to side. He longs to tell someone all that is haunting him now in the darkness and agitating his soul, but there is no one to tell. Fiokla is too little and could not understand. I will tell Terenti tomorrow, thinks the boy. The children fall asleep thinking of the homeless cobbler, and in the night, Terenti comes to them, makes the sign of the cross over them, and puts bread under their heads. And no one sees his love. It is seen only by the moon which floats in the sky and peeps caressingly through the holes in the wall of the deserted barn.